Hey guys, Omni here. We are back for Bad Batch episode 13. Last week's episode saw a close to the Ryloth two-parter where we got to see Harrison, Dula, and Cham, Chopper, and the gang coming in, actually being in a majority of that episode as backup to help them with their desperate situation there on Ryloth with the Empire. Trying to play this political game there to get the people to kind of submit to their occupation and accept it a little bit further, concocting the story that Cham tried to assassinate their senator and all this jazz after kind of flipping a whole situation with Cham, his brother, and Hera, and smuggling in weapons after being forced to disarm. A lot of fun stuff in the episode, man. It was nice seeing the Bad Batch actually back in there, seeing them kind of get wrapped up in this whole thing with Ryloth, and seeing how we get some more sparks of the rebellion, especially since we know some key players are going to be coming back around into it down the road. We got a little bit of a taste of a little prequel to Rebels, kind of. Seeing them escape, flee Ryloth, and talk about how they're going to go into and fight the good fight. And again, much like with Rex, at the end of it, they're like, we could use your help, like people like you out there, and they're just like, nah, not our fight. Oh, Hunter. It's going to be your fight at some point. So at the end of this, there's a couple things that I really wanted to point out. Some key things about the episode. Obviously, there's Hauser, the clone commander there, who seemingly is able to like combat these like orders from Rampart. Like, he has and shows great compassion for Cham, his situation, because he's been stationed here. He's been forming these bonds with these characters for years during these war, and he doesn't believe what is happening is right, and he helps them escape. He even like makes a plea to some of his own soldiers, and some of them put down their arms and join him as well. But the ones that don't join up with the squadron that Rampart has with them and arrest them. So it's like some key things in here. Because we've seen like with, regardless of a Jedi being around, there's been implications that their chip just makes them obey any order. Especially with, now we don't know that that's the case for sure, but we've seen since his chip was ramped up, Crosshair just be strictly following any and every order, no matter how disgusting, to the point of he's, good soldiers follow orders. He's like, when the gang decided not to kill innocent women and children and elderly people, he was like, no, we need to cap them all. Like, they weren't Jedi, but he was like, those were our orders. Kill them. And then his orders were kill them later when they went back and returned there, and he executed them all. So like, I have to think, like, being the asshole that Crosshair has kind of always been, I still feel like had he not had his chip at all, he wouldn't have gone that far. So maybe with the over time, the chip is waning, because at the end of it, Rampart finally gives him the permission he's been wanting to go after his brothers. So he's going to be out there actively tracking them at this point. We only got, including this episode, 4 more to go for the season. So we're going to be getting into some stuff here. I'm sure it's going to start picking up. But I just thought that was a key detail, because he also looked really conflicted in the end. Like, I feel like there was a lot of things happening behind his eyes. And I'm wondering if it's just like maybe after the explosion back on Braca, when he got his face almost melted off, maybe his chip is damaged, or maybe just over time, the effects are wearing off. I don't know. We'll just have to see how it comes together. But guys, remember, the full unedited reaction watch-alongs are available over on Patreon if you want to see my full reaction to the entire episode. You can also get access to that by signing up here as a member if you don't want to go over to Patreon or set up an account on another site or anything like that. But guys, let's go ahead and let's dive into this week's episode of Bad Batch. Here we go. Infested. Okay.
She failed to mention the drop zone will be swarming with Gundarks.
It is not the first time she has left out key details.
I like that you can kind of see more time is passing than we would think, like between each episode, where they go on these missions that we don't necessarily see, but they would just come back and they're just like bitching about what they had just gone through or whatever.
When did this place get so popular?
What's with all these
Not
masked
a problem. That's
people
what I said.
like hanging out in the alley, and in here there's a bunch of them.
Where do you think you're going?
It's rude to barge into one's office unannounced.
This isn't your office.
Guess again. Sid's out. This parlor and Ord Mantell are now my territory.
What?
But if you're looking for work,
That
I
sounds
might have use for
suspicious.
It is a plausible assumption that Sid was either forced out or taken out.
Will we have to find her and help her?
Nice to see one of you
Oh, hey.
players inside now.
Okay.
So you
And they came along too.
Roland's trying to make a name for himself by joining up with the Pikes.
Yeah, I thought I saw a couple of them in there.
If I lose, you lose. Don't forget how good I've been at keeping secrets.
I believe she's threatening us.
You're quick.
God, Tech,
We needed help. We came to Sid.
we love you, but Jesus.
He needs help. We can't just walk away.
You tell him, Tiny.
So what's your plan?
You won't disrupt his supply chain by stealing the shipment and thereby sabotaging the deal.
Very good, Goggles.
Tech is just there to explain this to the people that are struggling to follow what's going on, I guess. I think that's just kind of been his general role a lot of time.
Ord Mantell's old mining tunnels. It's how we're sneaking into my parlor to steal the spice.
Well, why don't we just walk in there and take it? We can handle those guards.
Roland is one thing, but the Pikes aren't an enemy you want to make.
I can get the motors operational.
No, motors are too loud. This is a stealth mission. Now listen up. When we pass through those doors, not a peep out of anyone. We don't want to wake the Hive.
The Hive.
What?
The caverns have a slight infestation problem.
We're not afraid of a few bugs.
You know, with the premise of this going the way it was, I was like, okay, maybe infested means like her bar has been infested with these people trying to take over her territory. No, we got a little bit of a double meaning, which is par for the course for now, but I wonder what I know once you introduce like an idea like this, something's gonna go south. That's for sure.
What was that?
What did I say?
It was an accident.
It's a rumbling.
Keep moving.
This ladder leads into my back office. Up you go.
How do we know Roland is not inside?
I've got that covered.
Her regs are gonna go in there, and by regs I don't mean clones, obviously. Her regulars that frequently we've seen attending her establishment.
Ruby? Don't just stand there. Find her!
And I thought Rekka was a slub.
Here's a commentary.
Keep that thing quiet. Give it moments.
Uh-oh. All right.
Okay, new plan. You coward!
There you are.
At a time, boys. Get the last 2 crates.
I'll seal the door.
The spice. It's gone!
That's secure enough.
Found them.
All right, guys. High-speed mine chase. Now, this ruckus is gonna get some attention on whatever's down here. Yoom.
I said no blaster pipe.
Tell that to them!
Oh. All right, here we go. What are they?
They're avoiding the light. Use your torches.
Like big ass moths.
Not the spice!
Forget the spice. Let's go! Rekka, seal them in.
Didn't really get a good look at them.
At least we got rid of the spice, right?
I didn't anticipate Sid to be so bold. Or foolish.
It was all her idea. Where is our payment?
The shipment was stolen.
We did not come to hear excuses. You are of no further use to us.
I said you'll get your money.
Either you correct this grave mistake, or
Don't-
you and your entire family will experience.
Don't
what
fuck
pain
with them, man.
truly feels like.
Don't do it.
My plan worked like a charm.
It has come to my attention that you have stolen a shipment of spice.
Alright, let's see how this goes.
Return it to us.
We don't have any spice.
Kill them all.
Wait, we don't have the spice on us, but we know where it is.
If you know where the spice is, then you should have no problem retrieving it. Until you do, the child stays here.
Yep.
Not happening.
This is not a negotiation.
If I remember right, weren't the Pikes also working with Maul? I'm not sure when. Oh yeah, no, yeah. They're part of his crime syndicate right now, I think.
Looking for the other crates. Quietly.
No, then again, before he got captured.
If your friends don't return the spice, we're both dead. That's what happens when you meddle in other people's business.
You're the one who took Sid's palace from her.
You take what you want. That's the Durand way. It's a tactic my mother's
So
perfected.
she's a criminal too.
Ugh, You make it sound so undignified. If she saw me now. Ruby doesn't take a liking to many people.
Don't worry, Ruby. We'll get out of this.
1, a 2, 3. Oh, well, they already got a couple of them there already.
Crates 3 and 4 are aboard. Those things are gonna wake up.
I am preparing for that possibility.
Final crate secure. Bring us up.
All right. They're awake. Oh, shit. You're almost there. You're almost there. Come on, just keep on. Keep on pulling.
What's going on?
Incoming!
Oh, a gigantic flashbang. It was just spewing those things everywhere.
That wasn't so bad.
I'm okay.
Since the spice has been returned, the matter between us is resolved. But not with you.
He made a mistake, that's all.
She's right. Kill him and you'll be starting a war with Issa Durand.
We do not accept bad deals. Our business is finished. It would not be wise for our paths to cross again.
Are you okay?
It's a small price to pay.
Why did you stick up for him after what he did?
I don't know. Ruby likes him. Maybe he's not all bad.
All right, all right. Nothing else in here. All right, so a little bit of a break, a little bit of a downbeat episode before we go into the final 3. It was fun. Pretty fun minecart chase though, which was kind of classic like Western feelings to it, with them going through getting shot at from the other side. You know, it even had like the hand cranks and everything. That was kind of fun. Again, kind of short-lived, but I feel like this was more about like the emotional stakes, especially like kind of again living in the grays a little bit with how they've been living and whatnot. You know, Sid also having a heart, showing a little bit more of her connection to Omega, taking a responsibility for getting them into this mess and to begin with, especially the kid. So that was nice to see. And then just showing a little bit more of how Omega is able to kind of formulate these connections. It's almost like a very Naruto or Sora kind of like way where she connects to people no matter where she is, like what situation she's in. Like she like can find a friend damn near anywhere because she's just so, in a way, naive, but also very unguarded with her heart and her feelings, that she's just like, you know, even the worst of people, she's just like tries to empathize with their situation. And you always have that like pets are good judge of character, and you know, specifically, you know, you get that a lot with dogs. So like I like how she's like, well, I mean, this animal, I forget what it was even called, Ruby, like I know it's called, it's named Ruby, but the type of creature it is, but like this, Ruby doesn't take likely to most people, but she like instantly like had this bond with Durand and Omega. Just blanking there for a second. And like they were able to bond over that. I was like, oh wow, she doesn't like most people, but she likes you. And she's like, yeah, blah blah blah. And he was just kind of chill about having screwed up this entire situation, even though it was his fault to begin with, like moving in on these people's turf. So he did just invite this kind of like conflict in and of itself. So I do think it's a little, I don't know about Devronian, because he's a Devronian, right? Yeah. Like they didn't kill him. They took his horn. So I don't know if that's like a sick sign of shame. That's what they took with him. Like he's lost, maybe it's like some influence or power by being kind of dehorned a little bit. Like you kind of see that in certain cultures that we've seen in other things as well as real life, you know, with top knots and stuff like that. You know, when you've shamed, the symbol is like being like having that taken away. So I'm wondering if that's kind of what they were going for with that. I'm just kind of looking at their society and culture real quick on their Wikipedia, and just to kind of see, and it doesn't say anything about that specifically. Yeah, doesn't really go into it. So I'm wondering what that was about, because it just seems like a little like an easy out for the Pikes to not have killed him. Did I read that wrong? I mean, does anybody else feel like that? It was a little weird that they just took his horn and that was it. It seemed like they just kind of let him off with a smack on the wrist after like how they were feigning that whole thing. So I wonder if we'll see him come back around later or not. Is there anything else in here? No, we know the Pikes, how dangerous they can be. We've seen them in Clone Wars. We've seen them in, well, also Clone Wars, the final season. Sometimes I always like consider the Clone Wars, the final season, like its own thing in my head. And so like, I'm wondering at what point this is going on, because weren't they involved with Maul? We know like last time we saw, especially after that, you know, we saw Maul was orchestrating with these other crime syndicates, and I can't remember if they, Criminal Alliance formed with Maul. So yeah, they were part of the Shadow Collective. Like I was just like, we know Maul's been captured. We don't necessarily know what happens to him in between when we see him in Rebels. I don't think they ever really went into that too much, at least in the show. But I'm wondering if that's kind of like a hint of what's going on in the galaxy, and maybe something we might be able to expect in the next 3 episodes, possibly. Surprise appearance, maybe. I don't know. I could just be remembering things wrong, but I don't know. It was a fun episode. But I'm definitely excited to get kind of on track, see where this is going. With the infested part of it, I kind of wish we would have spent a little more time down in the mines with these creatures. We never even really got a really good look at them. Maybe like have a queen come out after you, or you have to actually clear out the infestation in order to get the spice back. But overall, it was an alright episode. Guys, I mean, I can't think of anything else really to add to this one, but so I'm just going to pass it off to you guys. Sound out the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this episode. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. Before we go, I want to shout out our channel legends, Mandy Share, Ryan, Karen, Jason Coleman, Philly Vane. Thank you guys so much for your support. Guys, if you want to talk about the show, talk about all things Star Wars, Marvel, DC, video games, anime, whatever, follow my socials or come join my Discord. Come hang out. Links to all those are in the description of this video. And if you want to see my full uncut reaction, it's over on Patreon, or you can become a member here and get access to that as well, and all my other watch-alongs and full reactions. I've been adding some movies that I haven't been putting up on the channel as well, so there's some things there that you can check out that it's only there. But that's just if you want to support the channel, you want a little extra content. But that's it for this video, guys. I don't really have a whole lot to add to this one. So we're gonna end it there. So I will see you guys next week with the next episode of Bad Batch. May the Force be with you always. Take care, everybody.